pretzels, motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm kidding. But we need some pretzels while we play, right? How we doing, folks? Week 4, huh? Week 4, huh? Salud. That was a damn good week of football. You know, last time I was Josh about my boy Rossi, right? Talking about that we had a quiet week in week 3. No such thing as a quiet week. But I mean, come on now, week 4, that was some prime time football. So, what do you want to talk about? I mean, you might as well go in a chronological order, right? Started off at noon, Clemson, Florida State. Clemson was 1 loss. Florida State was undefeated. You know, me and my dad, we went back and forth all preseason talking about Florida State. I thought they had a damn good quarterback last year. And I thought they were going to go all the way to the playoff. My dad thinks they're winning the Natty. And so it was a big game. Now I have a different thing going on with Notre Dame. We'll get to Notre Dame. Believe me, we'll get to Notre Dame. But anyway, let's just talk about Florida State Clemson, right? Salud. Florida State Clemson. Noon kick in Death Valley. Not the real Death Valley. Everyone knows LSU's the real Death Valley. You can fight me all you want. LSU's the real Death Valley. But I thought it was going to be a blowout. I thought Florida State was going to run up and down the field with them for 500 yards. And it turns out Clemson had control for 4 quarters. Now, funny thing about football is sometimes it's longer than 4 quarters. Because 4th quarter ends in a tie. You got to go to overtime. I thought overtime was bad news when the clock struck 0 was tied. I thought it was bad news. Well, what's Debo doing with that New York banker as a kicker? What are you doing? I don't know. But it was a damn good football game, and a lot of people count Clemson out after the loss to Duke. I thought Duke was going to be okay, but now 2 losses. Clemson out of the Natty picture is still in September. Huh. I kind of like it. New blood. But salute. Yeah, new blood. Okay. I mean, Florida State isn't necessarily new blood. I mean, they've won plenty of Natties, plenty of Heismans. They were dominant. Whatever. But let's go on. What about the marquee game of the week? As those JOs, if you know what I mean, at ESPN were talking about Colorado, Oregon. That was going to be a blowout. No matter who knows, right? And it was. And you know what's funny is everyone thinks Deion is this bloviating character. I know a thing or two about bloviating characters, if you know what I mean. But no, Deion handled it with grace. He knew he didn't have the talent, and it was. And the thing is, me and my dad, right? He and I, right? We're throwing these back all day watching this football, right? Because it was a big day of football. Throwing them back, having a couple of these, and my dad, wasn't a Deion fan when he was playing. Not a Deion fan now, right? Doesn't bother me what Deion's doing, right? That's all out west. You think I'm going skiing anytime soon in Colorado? No, I'm kidding. But I knew it was going to be a trouncing. Everyone knew it was going to be a trouncing. Oregon felt disrespected, and feeling disrespected can take you a long way in old college football. Now, the game that I was circling second most, first most, everyone knows what the biggest game of week 4 was. We'll get to it. But the one I was curious about was Ole Miss Bama. My dad was thinking, Bama's done. They're done. They're toast. Ole Miss hanging 50 on them. I go, Dad, look at Kiffin's track record. That dude can't beat Saban. I mean, he kind of sucks up to Saban, kind of in a hey-ya-hoo way, but Kiffin hasn't beaten Saban, and Saban's got a lot to prove. He's got a loss. What the hell was happening in South Florida? So, my dad and I went back and forth. I took Bama to win. They did. And because, I still think, I knew Bama was going to lose Texas, and I still think they're going to Natty. I don't want them. I don't like Alabama. But they got a fire under their ass, especially after that Texas loss. An Ole Miss Bama game, it was fun in the first half. especially for my dad, right? Because I don't know, maybe he had a couple greenbacks hanging on that Ole Miss money line. I don't know. I don't want to know, to be quite honest. But then what's the next game, right? UCLA Utah. I was expecting that game to be run and gun, bang, 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 80,000 touchdowns. And I keep on checking the score while I'm doing other shit, and it's 14-7, like the whole game. Well, 14-0 the whole game, and then UCLA scores 7. I was like, what's going on? What's going on out west? I don't want to know what's going on out west half the time. Even though out west, the Pac-12, that's the best fucking conference in the country this year. You know. This is good. I like this. Playing poker with the boys, talking college football. I mean, all the boys are getting the schwitz, but I'm down here, you know. I got money on the table. I don't leave the table if I got money on the table. And I don't leave the table till I get everybody money. That's why no one's here, actually. Nah, I'm kidding. But UCLA Utah, that was kind of a weak game. Now, a game that I was interested in, my dad didn't really care about because my dad's kind of surface level sometimes. I'm kidding. That dude, he brought me up. He taught me what college football is. But he can be surface level sometimes. So, Oregon State, Washington State, the Wazoo, you know, Beavers versus the Cougs, right? It was the two-pack game, as they were talking about. Tupac Shakur, you know, whatever. Give me old Blue Eyes before you give me Tupac Shakur. Anyway, that game was wild. I mean, I thought Oregon State had it. I thought Oregon State was going to the Pac-12 championship this year. Other than old Lefty. Other than old Lefty in Seattle, baby. I'm kidding. But no, I'm Oregon State losing. I didn't have that on my bingo card. Not that I played bingo, you know. But where's the money in bingo? What? Well, actually, you know. I know a scheme or two to get some money out of bingo, you know. You get to that. The designer bag bingo. You bribe the cute girl at the coat check. Pull a couple of numbers before you get the right card. And you gotta come up with some Gucci bags. And what do I need Gucci bags for? My grandma's got enough Gucci bags. You get rid of them. They fell off a truck, you know what they say. I don't care. Anyway, Oregon State, Washington State, it was a wild game, and it was a somber game, if you want to call it that, because that's the last two left of the Pac-12. And we'll talk expansion. Don't worry, we'll get there. But then, you know, Penn State, Iowa. You know, my dad is a big Penn State guy. I'm not. Never will be. But my dad, my brother, they're all like, ooh, that Iowa game, that's gonna be, ooh, that's gonna, ooh. No, it's not. It's not. It just isn't. You know, it's one thing when Iowa's hosting Penn State with because they got that what is it, Kinnick at night. You know, that's a big thing. But it was a whiteout, and Penn State was good this year. My dad refuses to ever drink the Kool-Aid. Well, he says he refuses to drink the Kool-Aid. And you Penn State motherfuckers, you know what I'm talking about. You get hyped up at the beginning of the season. This is our year. You drink the Kool-Aid, and then, Ohio State comes around, hangs 50 on you. Michigan comes around, hangs 100 on you. That's my dad every year. And now, unfortunately, I'm brewing the Kool-Aid this year because I think Penn State's good. We'll find out October 21st. Biggest day of the season. We'll get there. But anyway, Penn State, Iowa. My brother and my dad, they go, oh, man. What's the line on that game, Brian? I go, whoa, I'm not gambling. I mean, I make money off of gambling. I don't gamble, but you know, I help people out. You know, I help people with less means. You know, caught up in the finances to, you know, but I don't gamble. Anyway, they go, the line's 14 and a half, and they go, oh man, it's gonna be a close game all the way to the fourth. I go, it's not gonna be a close game in the first. And then what's Iowa's first possession? A punt or a fumble or something? It was over after that. I found out numbers. It was the 110,000. It was the second biggest crowd ever at Beaver Stadium. First biggest crowd, November 11th this year. That's what's going to be the biggest crowd ever. Maybe in the history of college football. That's how big that game is. We'll get there. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little emotional. You know, this is a big season for me. You know, making dumb. You know, but. That's a good cigar, man. You got to get yourself one of those. Next time I post, get a little vino, you know? Get a little stogie, you know? Get little cards out. I don't care. Anyway, at Penn State, Iowa, it was over before it started, in my opinion. And my brother and my dad, they're all, I don't care. And it was. It was. That atmosphere, you can't escape that atmosphere. Now I have a prerogative for the Arkansas Razorbacks, you know, because they're the Hogs. They used to call me the Hog back in the day. I like that. But at the same time, LSU, Death Valley at night, the real Death Valley. Now we're at the real Death Valley. It ain't Clemson. Was Clemson. Sometime in the 80s, they played each other with Natty. And people said they battled for who gets the rights to Death Valley. LSU came on top. That's just the way it is, as Bruce Hornsby said. But it's funny, you know, my boys, they know I'm a Hog guy, right? So they go, Brian, what's your read on the game? Because the line was like 21 something. I go, it's simple, boys. Hogs ain't winning. It just ain't gonna happen. There's only two ways this outcome happens. I can show you the text. I mean, you gotta get into my phone first, but I'll show you the text. But, you know, I said there's one or two outcomes. Either the Hogs lose by 33 or by 3. And they go, okay, whatever. Then my boys started betting money line on the Hogs. They go, I told you they're not winning. And then you know what happens? They lose by 3, right? Wait, did I just say they were going to win by 33? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what glass number I'm on, boys. Anyway, I predicted they were going to lose by 33 or 3. You know what happens? They lose by 3. It's apparently past couple years. That's been the outcome of this game. 3 points. You know. I wish I had known that. I would have advised some boys on some bets. But I mean, again, at the same time, I did. I said lose by 33 or 3. They lost by 3. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong. We had that triple scene setup, you know. On the small screen, we had Penn State, Iowa, because it was a snoozer. It was a snoozer from the beginning. It's funny, you know, it's a snoozer of a game, but that atmosphere. You guys saw me earlier in the year. I was up at Penn State. They got a good atmosphere. I might not be a Penn State guy, but they got that atmosphere. What did I tell you in that first video? I said, go to a game. Go to a place where they respect the game and they love the game as much as you do. And that's what Penn State is. It was a snooze of a game. But that atmosphere, I got reporters going. You know, I got people that helped it. And they were telling me, tight. Of course it was. 110,000, the second largest crowd ever at Beaver Stadium. Anyway, Arkansas LSU. So we got Penn State, Iowa on a small screen. Middle screen, Arkansas LSU. And I was locked in on it. My brother didn't care. Because if it's not a ranked matchup, he don't watch. I don't get it. Never had, never will. College football's college football. I'll watch Western Oklahoma versus Louisiana Baptist. That's how much I love this game. But anyway. Salud. Now we get to the big one. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Gonna need a drag. That was a tough one. I predicted at the beginning of the season the playoff would be Alabama, Notre Dame, Florida State, Washington. Going into the weekend, I was feeling good, you know. Bama had the loss, but Bama's won the Natty with a loss before. Sometimes I think that old committee, because it gives them the benefit of doubt. I digress. And I knew the road to the Natty for the Irish. Sorry. I know some people ain't into the Irish here, but whatever. The road to the Natty was in South Bend through Ohio State. I was confident for 59 minutes and 59 seconds that the Irish were going to win. And then they didn't. I was at a loss for words. I couldn't believe it. 10 guys? You put 10 guys out on defense? You call a timeout and you put 10 guys out on defense? No wonder they're going to score the freaking touchdown. Ridiculous. Sorry, I'm getting a little mad, aren't I? I might have lost a little bit of money. Yeah, I'm kidding. I don't gamble. I make money off gambling. I don't gamble, though. Salud. Yeah, I don't know what number that one is. When these cameras turn off, that sure as hell ain't going to be the last either. But, you know, I'm a high school football guy. I like watching Big 12 because at any moment the game can be 56-53. I mean, that's good football to me. You know, my dad's a big defense guy. You know, when he played, he was a defensive guy. You know, I didn't play. You know, you see his belly. That ain't a football belly, you know. That's a big ziti belly, you know what I mean? My daddy was a defensive guy, but so he loved and I loved it too. The Ohio State Notre Dame. It was 3-0 at halftime, and it was must see. We didn't change the freaking channel. Granted, we had the 3-screen setup, but anyway. The defense was amazing. There was a fourth down stop in the red zone by Notre Dame to stop Ohio State with like 2 minutes left, and then Al Golden, the guy from Temple, Maguma, that Al Golden goes, yeah, keep on throwing the ball. We want the clock to be big. You know, we want a lot of time left on the clock. Well, Ohio State to get it, and then you know what happens? Ohio State runs down and wins the game. What are we thinking here? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. You know. Freeman, the new guy at Notre Dame, he said he was aware. He was aware that there were 10 guys on the field. You gotta have 11. What's you're a coach. You play defense. You know there's got to be 11 guys on the field. What are you doing? He said he wanted to draw a penalty. You know, what would that penalty have been? They were on the 1 yard line. What would that penalty have been? Automatic first down, half the distance of the goal. It would have gained half a yard. Maybe that. Okay? Draw the penalty. I truly believe they got 11 guys on the field. Ohio State doesn't win that game. But if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a swell Christmas. Salute. Nah, man, I wish I had more of that. It's upstairs, but where does Ohio State go from here? I think they're going to get upset in the shoe. Penn State. We'll get to that. I'm sorry I keep on jumping up, but that's on October 21st, third Saturday in October. You know, it's going to be a big game. It's a big day, you know. I'm going to be making chili, probably making some wings. You know, we're going to have a big party. We're going to have the 4-screen setup. So I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. I keep on getting ahead of myself. Let's think of the present. And by the present, I mean the past. What happened this past Saturday was I got a big pain in my ass from Notre Dame losing. Sorry. I think Notre Dame, you know my bracket prediction, Bama, Notre Dame, Florida State, Washington, I'm locked in on that. I'm doubling down on the money that I don't gamble because I'm not a gambler. I think Alabama plays Notre Dame for the national championship. That was the best looking Notre Dame team I think I've ever seen. And you know, I got plenty of family members that are into Notre Dame. They've been watching it for years. That was one of the best Notre Dame. That's one of the best Notre Dame teams I've ever seen. Probably better than anything that douche Kelly did. Now he's at LSU, beating the Hogs by 3. I called it. Anyway, I think Notre Dame's going all the way. Well, you saw it. They have 11 guys on that though. I'm walking in circles now. I think that Ovino was getting to me. You know, it was a good vintage, but I don't know. We'll see you later in the week for this upcoming week's predictions, but, you know, salute, you know. Have a good day, Paisans. I don't know what to tell you, you know. I think I can hear footsteps upstairs. They want to be playing poker. I had to kick them out. I don't want you to see my boys' ugly mugs. No way. Get out of here. Go. Yes, get out, scram.